Assalamu alaikum, Hetep, Islam, and welcome to my homeschool classroom. I am Shemora Sheikh, and I'm your homeschool coach. Okay, it's our first video, so a little bit about myself. I have over 10 years of teaching experience. I started out teaching middle school and high school, and then after I had children of my own, I went into preschool and kindergarten and taught that for a few years. And of course, after having a few of my own children, I said, you know, why don't I just come on home and homeschool? So I started homeschooling. I've been doing that for 5 years and also working as an education consultant. So here I am now for you. And our first video is on creating curriculum through self-discovery. Not just self-discovery of the student, but self-discovery of the parent. You as a parent have to do inventory and know who you are in order to put together a curriculum and homeschool your own children. And I think a lot of times parents just dive in and they don't really think about that aspect of that. So we're going to explore that. Starting off with parenting style. What is parenting style? There are 4 different types of parenting styles that have been identified. Now, of course, this is very much based on a Western cultural perspective, but when you get into other cultures, there are many more, and you can look up, Google that, look up different sites that talk about that. In fact, in the description of this video, I will include some, link you to some sites that you can go to and take surveys and figure out what your parenting style is and what that means for your child. But basically, parenting style is based on how you discipline, the warmth and nurturing that you give, and also your communication style. Okay, so we have authoritarian parenting, authoritative parenting, permissive parenting, and uninvolved parenting. And these basically affect your child's outcome for how happy they'll be as children and as adults, their success, their academic success, happiness, self-regulation, and it sets the atmosphere for the home. So for example, authoritarian parents, their children tend to be, even as children and then as adults, they tend to be very obedient and efficient, but low in happiness. So these would be like your high achievers, but they're like, you know, very depressed a lot, and you know, it's never good enough, that kind of thing. The authoritarian parenting style tends to be the more balanced one. In this one, they say the outcome of children usually are happy. They're very happy, they're capable, they're successful. Most of the positive outcomes that you want are from the authoritarian parenting style. Then we have permissive parenting, where they said that your child will have problems with authority. They'll perform poor in school. And the lowest of all, that would be uninvolved parenting, in which the children have low self-esteem. There's, you know, unaware of expectations. So definitely you want to find out what your parenting style is, because this is definitely linked to academic success and basically how you're going to approach your child and how you're going to work with them. Your parenting style is mixed in with that. And so here we are going on to part 2 of this. We just covered parenting style. Now we're moving on to teaching style. So of course your parenting style is going to be mixed with your teaching style. And you'll see that they're probably very closely related when you're looking at these and figuring them out. What is teaching style? There's a direct approach, there's a student-centered approach, and there's a cooperative learning approach. So that's 3 different approaches. And then within that, there's even more subcategories that are broken down. The direct approach is more of a formal authority, demonstrator, or personal model. This is more like your sage on the stage. And that's probably more the conventional style of teaching that you see, where the teacher's at the front, the board's at the back, and all these desks, you know, and students are facing forward at the teacher. And that's that formal authority, and it's more like the teacher models what should be done, and the students try to follow that model. Then there's the student-centered approach, which has become very popular in schools now. And this is more inquiry-based learning, more like you're facilitating the learning. It's like instead of seeing the child as like this empty vessel for you to fill, it's like they already come with their own content, but you're helping them to link that content to the objectives and the learning experience. So that's the facilitator, delegator, and also kind of like a personal model, but based off, you know, each student's style instead of just off the teacher's style. And then there's cooperative learning approach. which is more about community and group work and the collective, and more based and more emphasis on character development. Your teaching style affects the type of curriculum that will be most comfortable for you. So if you're going and picking out curriculum that's just, that's like a bunch of worksheets, and it's very straightforward, and you do this part, that's very much based on what you're comfortable with your teaching style, because that's what you're comfortable with working with, and that's what you understand the easiest, and so that's what you're going to choose. Or if you're finding a curriculum that's really hands-on, that's a bunch of projects, and you just do lap books and knock them out like that, that might be because you have a more student-centered approach. So definitely go to the websites that are linked in the description below and figure out what your teaching style is, and then that way you'll already know like what would be, you'll be conscious of what's easiest for you as far as curriculum goes. Teachers should adopt a balanced teaching style to help more students learn effectively and become more flexible in the way they learn. So basically, your teaching style is something that you create. Okay, it's not just something you say, okay, I'm this and that's what I'm going to be, but you want to become aware, you want to know what your teaching style is, and then adapt it. And don't feel like you have to just fit within those certain categories. Just like with the parenting styles, they say that there's these 3, but there's a lot more that aren't even known or that haven't been labeled, and you can do a blend of those, and it's really comes from your creativity. Every teacher over time develops their own teaching style. It's almost like that they become known for. So definitely get to know your teaching style, and it's something that evolves over time, and you want it to be balanced, like it says, in a way so that your students are able to learn more effectively and become flexible, because you don't want them to get used to just one type of style. Switch it up a little bit, and that way they're having to adjust to different ways of learning. So learn and create your own style. You want it to be complementary to the student's learning style and be balanced. And again, like I said, those will be linked in the bottom. Okay, so we have parenting style, teaching style, and now we're getting into more of like the child or the student and exploring their background and yours as well. So now with part 3 here, I'm going to talk about a little bit the astrology birth chart. This is something that I used very much with my own children that helped me to understand their strengths and weaknesses, their temperament, their energy, their areas of like character development or just personal development that I need to work on with them, what best discipline and guidance would work best with them. So basically, you as a parent, first of all, you need to know your birth chart, okay? Then you should also know your child's birth chart. And that way, a way that you could use that basically is like, for example, with my son, and there's many different types of, there's sidereal astrology, there's the zodiac, every culture has this different type of astrology that it uses. And basically, I see that as, as a science. Some people call them pseudosciences or whatever, but I see it as a science. It's still, it teaches you about like the planets and the way they're moving and the energy that they have on the day that your child, came in. And just really gives you insight into their personality and, how best to work with them. So I say definitely utilize it as a tool. It might be for you, it might not be. But definitely, if you haven't already done it, you could work with Sister Tahita, and I'm going to put a link at the end of this video and in the description to her website. She does excellent birth charts, and definitely connect with her. But there's things like that you learn from it. Like my son, he is, trying to think which son I want to talk about.